Okay, so this is August, you can see that, 17th, 2017. I just want to show you how YouTube either censors, which I do believe that they do. I even think sometimes people that this, in part, obviously not all of it, but in part, this troll network that's trolling my channel is somehow connected to YouTube. Because I have uploaded a video and like 1-2 views, I get a thumbs down. It's like somebody is watching my videos as they're going up just to thumbs them down. Right? That's the sole purpose. I can't imagine sitting at a desk, looking at a computer, waiting for videos to be uploaded to simply thumbs them down. Like you gotta be pretty bored in your life to be just going around thumbing down videos. Like seriously. Anyway, I want to point out, okay, what we're looking at is we're looking at this one, my most recent video. I just uploaded it today. If I die, sitting duck roofs. Okay, now I exit out, I cleared my browser, I did whatever, signed back in, because what I'm noticing in here is, here's a recent post, Siri wants flat grass and everything out of the yard so it looks like other yards. They are doing it to everyone. I have heard that right there, just that right there, by my neighbor. Sorry. Okay. 3 doors up here, they came and took everything from my neighbor's yard with a court order all signed. It devastated the poor old guy, and now his yard is empty of everything but his van. And then if you notice, there's only 2 posts here. As soon as Uncle John started to seriously, okay, so there's a whole, so what I do every now and then, because this has been a systemic problem with YouTube for quite a long time, actually ever since Uncle John went missing. Oops, that's not what I want. What I do, because the troll network came in, and it got to the point, people, where I just started to have to ban people because they were just getting out of control, right? And every now and then, I would copy and paste the conversation, right? You can see, or whatever. And then I would ban that person because some of the shit that they were saying was just very, very, very disruptive. So anyway, here's her post. Siri wants flat grass, right? And everything out of the yard so it looks like, okay, so there's her post. I copied her post, and then I copied my responses. And if you notice, how much was the bill? How old is he? If he's elderly, he's at risk to being medically kidnapped for his assets if he is a homeowner. Not to mention going into bankruptcy for having to pay the city for its fines. Because you have to remember, people, if this elderly person, if this person is a poor old guy and he's having a nervous breakdown because his house, his yard has been emptied by the city, and he tried to fight it in court before that happened. Obviously, it went to court, right? I mean, you know, it's heartbreaking. So maybe he had a nervous breakdown, ended up in the hospital, and if he goes into the hospital and he's already being targeted, there's a high probability that they're not going to release him, people. They're just not going to, because there's something going on that there's something going on that the NDP government needs to root out and fix. I don't know what the PC Liberal government did, but they created a lawless society. That's what they've done. And we're now starting to see the ramifications of that coming to light. So in the meantime, how much was the bill and how old is he? If he's elderly, he's at risk to being medically kidnapped for his assets if he is a homeowner, not to mention going into bankruptcy for having to pay the city for his fines. And if he ends up in the hospital and they decide that they want to detain him, because they're interested in his home and any other assets that they may have, because they need to prop up those old folks' homes in terms of, subsidizing the economy at the expense of exploiting old people. For the duration that he's in these temporary care wards or a convalescent ward or wherever they place him until they permanently move him to an old folks' home, he has to pay for that. So then he's going to be forced to sell his house. He's going to be forced to sell his house not only to pay for the convalescent care, not only to pay for the temporary care, not only to pay for the long-term care, but he will also be forced to pay for city fines. So therefore, he will go basically bankrupt. And because no lawyers are provided, this is important, and because no lawyers are provided to those individuals who are being detained within the healthcare system, there is no way for the elderly to protect themselves, despite by law, under mandates, rules, and regulations, because I read it, people. If someone is being detained against their will, a lawyer is supposed to be made available. Uncle John asked for a lawyer, and the social worker said there wasn't one available, that he didn't need it, because he wanted to go to Victoria, and he knew that. As soon as Uncle John started to seriously express, once we started to catch on as to what was going on, as he said, what did I do wrong? Why can I not go home? For me to get us a lawyer, hold on, sorry, it is what it is. And this occurred on February 19th, 2015, 2 days after the bombshell was dropped that suddenly, out of the blue, John was going to go to Victoria and go live with his long-lost sister that he hadn't seen in years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And that was it, because that's what the social worker said. That's what John wanted to do, all of a sudden, out of the blue. One day he wanted to go to convalescent care. Next day he was going to Victoria. That was on the 17th. I came back on the 19th. We were talking. He told me to go get a lawyer. He disappeared on the 20th. Fraser Health Authority allowed him to be illegally transported to Victoria, BC. This is nothing new, people. It's in my videos. It's important for the public to understand what's going on. Otherwise, it won't change. And he was transported under great duress that ended up isolating him from his immediate family, to where the trauma was so great for him that he ended up losing 34 years of memory, in addition to becoming sick for months. Those are his words, because I got to talk to him for 1 minute on the phone, people, in the month of July of 2015, as well as being injured while in his sister's care, who happens to be a registered nurse. They took him on February 20th, and I haven't seen him since. They were spying on us, and seeing that he asked for me to contact the lawyer, because we already had one. We had access to a lawyer, people. And that's why they took him the next day, because they didn't want the lawyer coming in and helping. That's exactly what happened. If you notice, those posts have been removed. That's why I copy and paste every now and then my response to individuals that have something to say, and I've got something to say back. Because I'm not the one deleting that. That's somebody else doing that. Let's refresh the page. I finally got them. I can't use them. There's my comment. Oh, looks like it's back now. YouTube is having some serious issues. Now, let me just remind the viewers that I actually have a website that if I wanted to, people, I could upload my own videos onto my own website. I'll bring it up right now. What am I doing? Oh, what do we see here? The famous GMOI. Thank you very much, Fraser Health Authority and CIBC Bank. I hope you take responsibility for that one. Here's the website. I can upload videos, if I wanted to, people, onto this website. I just haven't done it yet. Because all in all, YouTube is not that bad, but since they're changing their formats all the time, they bring in too many bugs and glitches. But that's not to say that people are, like YouTubers, aren't being cyber-stalked from some internal troll network that's somehow employed by YouTube for whatever reason, and or that YouTube doesn't censor. Okay? I take that with a grain of salt. Seriously, I do. Okay? This is what the lawyer and the masters didn't want to talk about, as if it doesn't count. Right? It means nothing in the great grand scheme of things when you're working with millions and billions of dollars and you're trying to protect those ching-chings, right, from the public. Right? I don't know where all those millions and billions of dollars are, people, but it's sure not in the hands of the public. Right? So anyway, back to this. So, and then if I go into this, I don't know why this keeps popping up, but we'll review it. You'll see there'll be nothing there. See? There's nothing. Nothing. There's nothing. Nothing to, this is what I'm saying. Like, there's a glitch, right? So it shows here. What's this? So let's go back to the video and see if it comes up again. I just want to point this out because that's why I copy and paste sometimes, right? Just because it doesn't show up. Now we've got 4 replies instead of 3. Last number said 3, now it's 4. But at least it's posting. So maybe it's just running on slow or something, because it's been like an hour since I've done this. See? 1 hour. It was an hour ago. So maybe like I said, whoever is the webmaster for YouTube these days, their HTML skills, they need to be like brushed up on, and they need to like get the bugs out or fire the trolls. Seriously, because YouTube isn't as good as it used to be. Seriously. But like these videos that I make, seriously, people, I can put them up on my website. I can upload them onto my website if I wanted to. Okay? So, I don't know what kind of tricks that Fraser Health has up their sleeve in terms of, like, if they want to start attacking my YouTube channel, and that's why they try to, make it so that they can do what they want without my signature. There is that possibility that they can do that because they're not going to want me to talk about this stuff. But this is the history of the nonprofit, people. They should have thought about that before they let their employees run rogue, right? And if they're really serious about serving the public, they will root out the corruption within their rogue employees. It's pretty simple, right? It's cut and dry. And if need be, bring in the Attorney General. Serious. Bring in the Attorney General because there's too many lives at risk. You're not only talking about the old people that are having their lives ruined, right? Or anyone for that matter that is vulnerable, that has money. But there's also the family members that get ruined. Right? And in Uncle John's case, there was 8 of us, including him. That's 8 lives ruined for a little piece of that pie in terms of those billions of dollars that the masters is protecting, when in fact he should be protecting the people, not the millions and billions of dollars. He should be protecting the people. That's his job. That's what he gets paid for, is to protect the people. This is why I'm doing it. I'm protecting Uncle John. I hope we see him before he dies to let him know that we never gave up on him and that we love him and that we want him to come home. And if he wants to come home, I'm telling you people, we're bringing him home.